Foxy, Voxy, Voxy. I'm surprised you wanted to come back for round 2, but here you are. How you feeling about your Yu-Gi-Oh card evaluating skills after last time?
I honestly feel pretty good. I feel like I did a pretty decent job considering I don't know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh, but yeah, I think I did okay, so I want to try again.
So I thought we will go ahead and start from the beginning. So Yu-Gi-Oh started off here in North America in 2002. So I thought it would be fun to pick some cards from the first few Yu-Gi-Oh sets ever printed. And your goal today is very simple. You're going to guess if you think this card is crazy good, you know, it's like fine, it's, you know, bad, whatever, you can evaluate it like that. But your main objective is to, throughout the 25 years of Yu-Gi-Oh's history, is to determine at any point if you think this card served any time on the ban list. Sound easy enough?
If it served any time on the ban list, it was so crazy good that it had to be banned.
Sure, let's go with that. Sound good?
Okay. Yeah, sound good.
All right, here's your first one.
Wall of Illusion. It is 4 Dragon Balls. It is a fiend. If this card is attacked by a monster, after damage calculation, return that monster to the hand. After damage calculation? Okay, so attack is 1,000 and defense is 1,850. If this card is attacked by a monster, after damage calculation, return that monster to the hand. So their monster attacks my Wall of Illusion. After combat damage is done, it gets flipped back. It gets put back to the hand.
Their monster, the wall.
Their monster gets put back to the. It gets bounced back to their hand.
Correct. If the Wall of Illusion were to die in that combat exchange, then it goes to the graveyard. But if Wall of Illusion is bigger, then Wall of Illusion will stay out on the field. But the monster in either case will get bounced back to the hand.
So, and if their monster was to die, it wouldn't die. It would get bounced back there, or it would die.
So the only way that would happen is if both the wall and the monster are in attack position and they both have 1,000 attack, which would be very unlikely to happen, I would say, in most instances.
This is so weird. If, okay. The card attacked by a monster, after damage calculation, return that monster to the hand.
There's nothing like this in Magic. I feel like there'd be like some card in Magic that does something like this.
Like if a card hit my card and like after damage, it gets bounced back to their hand? No.
There's not a... Really? This is like...
now I feel like I'm going insane. Maybe? But now I'm trying to think if but I can't think of one, like, after damage is dealt, it gets bounced back to the, there probably is. I say, with everything in Magic, people is like, is there a card that does this, this, and this? I'm like, yeah, probably. It's some one-off that was made in, like, 1999 that nobody thinks about anymore.
Sure, okay.
But, I mean, so maybe, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
I'm sure CGB is like, actually, back in, you know, when I played...
He's banging on the glass like, actually, it's from 1998 and it's from Ice Age and blah, blah, blah. God.
That's so funny. I thought there would be something comparable to this. I'm glad I picked this then. Okay.
Well, listen, you cannot, here's one thing. CGB and I are vastly different in many ways. And probably the biggest one is not only height difference, but the fact that he knows way more about Magic than I do. I go like the limited sets over like the last 5 years. That's my stronger knowledge.
Well, how would this be in limited?
If I had a fucking thing that like hit myself and it got bounced back there, I wouldn't want their stuff bounced back to their hand.
Okay.
I mean, well, majority of the time, I guess it depends on, I think about Enter the Battlefield, but I think about slowing them down. I don't know. It depends on the creature itself. I think that this card, there's no way there's Enter the Battlefield effects in Yu-Gi-Oh! That are like Enter the Battlefield effects and card draw is Yu-Gi-Oh!-ish good stuff, right? That's what they like? That's what you guys like? That's your thing?
When this card was, obviously this is one of the first cards ever printed. I will say during this time, that was much fewer and further between. Okay, you know, Pot of Greed, like Pot of Greed exists at this point. A couple of other cards similar to Pot of Greed, and there's, I don't even know if there are unsummon effects in Yu-Gi-Oh! At this point, to be honest with you. If there is, there's like one. This is, like I said, this is year one Yu-Gi-Oh! We're talking.
God, all these are from year one Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay. I would think that this would be, but nothing costs anything in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Everything's free.
Everything is free. And so, like, what's the downside for it giving, like, I guess, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't fucking know. I'm gonna go with this card. I'm so dead ass right now, I have no fucking idea how to even look at this thing.
This is gonna be a rough video, okay?
Oh no, is this the easiest one to start off with? I'm gonna go with it is good.
Okay.
Yes, you want it, it's good because it would annoy people that they had to move their arm again to put it back down on the battlefield.
Okay. banned?
There's no way this got banned, right? No, there's no way it got banned. Oh my god, I'm gonna gaslight my... No, don't say it like that. That's so mean. Don't do it with that tone of voice. No ban.
Final answer?
Yes.
So Wall of Illusion is an extremely annoying card for old Yu-Gi-Oh! 1850 defense is actually a stat that holds off, I think, every other normal summon in the game at this point. I think, like, your max attack stat in old Yu-Gi-Oh! Is like 1800 on something that you can just play for free. If you recall, to play your bigger cards, you have to tribute and sacrifice the smaller ones to play the bigger ones. But even if you do that, and something can hit over Wall of Illusion, then they bounce back the thing, and they kind of, like, wasted a card just to kill this, and now their big thing is back in their hand, and they have to find a way to, like, retribute summon it out to the field. So, as such, this was actually, like, a premier defender for back in the day, just because it was something that would always set them back, essentially, because you only get one normal summon per turn, and special summoning wasn't nearly as crazy as people know it in Yu-Gi-Oh! Nowadays. But, yeah, this card's fine. This card's totally fine. You got it right. You got it. You didn't take the bait.
Oh my God.
Didn't take
Okay,
the bait.
good.
You didn't take the bait.
I feel like I was kind of right then. Like it's just kind of annoying to have to do it again.
Yeah, it's annoying. It's an annoying card. Like, it's by old standards, this card's, like, not bad. This card's okay. But it wasn't, like, anything crazy. People would, like, hate to see it, don't get me wrong, but they're not like, oh, like, they need to ban this card. Yeah, this card's fine. This card's fine.
Oh my god, I fucking nailed it. Okay, yeah.
You almost took the bait.
That's it. Cut the cameras dead.
1-0. 1-0. Undefeated. All right, next card.
Dark Hole. Destroy all monsters on the field as a board wipe. Fuck.
It is a board wipe.
It's good at, oh god, see, okay, I have to think in not limited, because I'm like, hell yeah, like, give me this shit immediately. Give me that Dark Hole. It destroys your cards. Was it banned? That's the question.
That's the main question.
Did the Dark Hole get banned?
It's just a board wipe.
It's just a board wipe. But, like, back in the day, that was probably, like, absolutely backbreaking, I assume? Because you probably play all, I mean, the golden Yu-Gi-Oh!
Tell us.
I think so, because right when you're playing, you want to put all your best cards out first. You're not, like, playing around a board wipe. Fuck, I'm trying to not think in limited terms. Like a limited brain. Damn it. I think that this card was banned for early Yu-Gi-Oh!
Do you have any reasoning, or, like, what's your gut telling you?
Because you're playing all of your biggest, best stuff, and then it all is dead. But I guess you kill your stuff too, but...
That's typically how board wipes work, yes.
Yeah, you're killing your stuff too, but, like, that was probably, like, brutal. Like, to try to come back from that, I guess, for early on back in the day. God, this was a fucking board wipe band, and God, there's no way, right? Fuck, hang on. Oh, I'm talking myself in and out of it again. Are you the type of person to give me a yes and then a no and then a yes and then a no?
Oh, now you're already on the mind games. I see.
Or are you that teacher that puts, like, 3 B answers in a row just to fuck with their students?
I guess you'll find out by the end of this video.
Okay, I'm gonna go with very, very annoying, just like the first one, but not banned.
Final answer.
Final answer.
So, this may come as a surprise to you. I don't know how they handle board wipes in Magic, but this card was banned.
Was it really? Oh, damn it, I should have fucking listened to my gut.
Yep,
okay.
You should have. You talked yourself out of it. So, it's interesting by older Yu-Gi-Oh! Standards. I will say this card is unlimited now and is fine. Actually, sometimes, well, no, we have better board wipes now, but it's like, there were points in time where this card could have potentially seen play in, like, newer iterations of Yu-Gi-Oh! For the most part, in older Yu-Gi-Oh!, board wipes were all either restricted or banned for the most part, just because they were so powerful at being able to help reset the board. And let's be honest, Dark Hole is basically a one-sided board wipe. You're only going to use it if your opponent has, like, 2+ things and you have none, right? So the fact that you can destroy your own stuff, sometimes that can be relevant. There are things that when they hit the grave, they have some sort of effect that triggers. So, like, it isn't the end of the world, right? But having cards like this by old Yu-Gi-Oh! Standards were, like you said, just very backbreaking. And as a result, Dark Hole actually did end up serving time on the ban list for, it wasn't a super long time, but it did at one point when they were just, like, very anti-removal. And like I said, now it's at 3. It's fine. And it saw some play when it came off the list in some capacity, but it's a board wipe. So it's kind of crazy to think that a board wipe got banned in a card game, right? You kind of need these to equalize the game out a bit.
That's exactly the way I was like, there's no way, like, this of all, like, but maybe I'm from now on, I'm listening to my gut and I'm not straying no matter what type of cadence you do to your voice.
Okay.
When you say, are you sure? Final
We'll
answer?
keep that in mind.
Okay,
We'll keep that
I'm
in mind.
sticking with it.
Let's see what you think about this one.
Okay,
in that case.
fine. Ew. Okay, ultimate offering. He's tickling him. He's trap card. During your main phase or your opponent's battle phase, you can pay 500 life points immediately after this effect resolves. Normal summon set one monster. Okay, wait. During your main phase or your opponent's battle phase, you can pay 500 life points immediately after the... So I get to pay 500 life points and I get to fucking normal summon a card from my hand?
Correct.
Banned.
That's
Banned.
it. That's it.
Right? Is half of a life... Like, I get to fucking put a thing on my battlefield in their battle phase or my main phase. Like I just get to do that for half of a life point. We get 8 in Yu-Gi-Oh, right? That's only half of 1. Banned. Isn't that good? I'm sticking with my gut. That has to be good. Wait. I have a follow-up question. Can I ask more?
Yeah, you can.
So during your opponent's battle phase, what would be the benefit of doing it to their, if they're like attacking you or something, you can like pay half a life point and then you have a flash blocker or something?
Essentially, yeah. So how combat would work in that case is, let's say your opponent declares an attack. At instant speed, you could pay 500 life points and summon something or set something. It's either one. At that point, the opponent then gets to do what's called a redeclare, where since the monsters on the field changed, they're allowed to then pick a new target for the attack. So if you had nothing and then you play a monster on the field, now you have a blocker they have to get through before they can attack you directly.
This has to be, that had to have been banned, right? Right?
Final answer? I'll let you know.
It's always been 8 life points for Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Even in the beginning?
But yes.
8,000. It's 8. It's so much easier to just say 8. Yes, banned.
You're correct. You are correct.
Okay,
This might blow your mind, actually. This card is still banned today. That's how strong this card can be.
That does not blow my mind.
Okay,
That doesn't surprise... I would to flash a motherfucking monster on the battlefield for a crumb of my life. Yes, I would do that immediately.
So let's give you some context. I think it shocks some people that this card is still banned. There's a reason for that, and that's because it's a trap card. If you recall, trap cards you have to set face down for a turn before you can activate them. This is continuous though, so when you do activate it, it stays out indefinitely until something interacts with it to take it off the field.
Oh my god, banned.
So yeah, even more so, right? You might not even overlook that fact, but in any case. So the thing is, by modern standards, some people would consider this card to be a bit too slow. There are some cards that could combo with it to maybe cheat it out early to be able to like do some degenerate stuff with it. But the way Yu-Gi-Oh's evolved, there's a lot of reasons why this card is banned. Interestingly enough, in Yu-Gi-Oh's history, this card was totally fine early on. And the reason for that is you were kind of limited by the amount of monsters you had in your hand for how good this card is, right? Because remember, card draw comes at a premium in our game, so we don't have, like, infinite resources. And so we have 5 card hands. If Ultimate Offering is one of those cards, this card's only as good as how many guys you can throw out on the field.
Sure,
and
yeah.
so in older Yu-Gi-Oh, not a lot of decks, if any, honestly, really took advantage of this card because you kind of just ran out of gas and you'd rather just have a better card that does something else, kind of just take this card's place. As Yu-Gi-Oh! Aged, and we got more of these crazy-ass summoning mechanics, and there's actually an archetype of cards called the Gadgets, where they basically just keep searching for more copies of themselves, which meant with Ultimate Offering, you could go, like, summon a guy, get a guy. Ultimate Offering, summon a guy, get a guy. Ultimate Offering, because this card is at once per turn. As long as you have life points to pay, you could literally pay 7,000 life points and summon, like, 1 billion guys to your field in the same turn if you want to. So, very abusable card. Still banned today. But it's just had a very interesting course throughout Yu-Gi-Oh's history, all things considered. But you nailed it. You nailed it.
Yay, okay. Oh, God, I want to take back my answer on the dark hole.
You'll get your chance. You'll get your chance.
Okay, all right. Okay, I'm listening to my gut from now. Okay, yes, okay.
All right, what's your gut say about this little guy?
Ew, that's what it says. Oh, my God. Morphing jar? It's a rock. Flip, both players discard all cards in their hand and then draw 5 cards. I absolutely fucking hate that. I absolutely hate that. I don't want to give I'm not giving my opponent jack shit in Magic. You're fucking high if you think I'm giving it to them in Yu-Gi-Oh! 5 cards? Why? And this thing is just a 700 attack with 600 defense, and it's ugly?
You remember how Flip works, right? Just to clarify?
No.
Okay. Well, that might help you out here. So,
okay.
Remember that you get your 1 normal summon per turn, which is also why Ultimate Offering is broken. It breaks a core mechanic of the game. With that normal summon, you can either play a monster in face-up attack position, or you can set it face down in face-down defense position. So for Morphing Jar to activate, you have to set it face down in face down defense position, and then either something has to attack into it to force it to flip up, or on your next turn, you could choose to flip up Morphing Jar manually and activate the effect that way. So just so you understand how this card works.
Dog shit, and I don't want it on my battlefield. Not banned. I don't ever want to play it ever. Why would I give them 5 cards? Why would I discard my... No. And put stuff in their graveyard? You guys fuck with the graveyard. That's what you do.
We do.
And you like to draw cards. And so while it is beneficial to me, I am not benefiting you in any way. There's no way I'm helping my opponent at all for such a weird looking little guy. So no, not
Final
banned.
answer?
Dumb card. Nobody likes it.
This card is giga banned. This card is
What?
incredibly good. This card's incredibly good. So let me explain. Let me explain. It might be counterintuitive. So remember, card draw in Yu-Gi-Oh! Comes at a premium, right? There are very few cards that are going to allow you to just gain an insane amount of cards. Like, you know, Pot of Greed, you know, the things we have are pretty slim pickings. And most of these cards, even if they're legal, they're restricted to a singular copy. There is a world where you could just have, let's say, a hand of Morphing Jar and like 4 spell or trap cards. You can set all 4 of your spell and trap cards down and set the Morphing Jar. And now you're going to get a brand new hand out of it. So you go +5 on your opponent and they lose, like, you know, even if it gives them some potential graveyard setup, you're up so many cards on them that by older Yu-Gi-Oh! Standards, it may not matter. Where this card got very degenerate is decks that were known as Empty Jar, hence the jar name here. They were basically decks that were designed to continuously flip up these jar cards back up and back down to keep triggering this like discard draw 5 and mill the opponent out, essentially. This was actually one of the best decks in Japan for quite some time. So as a result, these cards have been banned. I think Jar is legal at 1 copy right now. I think it's restricted to 1 still to this very day, but they've been banned for a pretty significant amount of time in Yu-Gi-Oh's history.
Wow. That's... How many... So you die if you mill in Yu-Gi-Oh!
I don't want to say you die. Oh, I mean, like if you deck out or like what do you mean?
Yeah, if you deck out, you're dead?
Yeah, if you deck out, it's game over. Yep.
How many cards do you have in your deck?
We have 40, so that's a big difference too.
Okay, that's okay, all right. I mean, I guess I dump out my whole good hand. I guess, you know what, it's my own personal adversity to like giving my opponent any sort of help.
Sure.
If I can help it. So damn it. Okay, fine. Maybe my gut doesn't know anything.
Even when this card's restricted, which it pretty much has throughout most of its lifespan, not every deck would play this, especially in older Yu-Gi-Oh! It's a nice reset button, too, if you fall behind. But most of the time, like, if you're ahead or you're at parity, this card isn't very good. And that's kind of like one of the downsides of it. It was pretty much banned for its degenerate uses, I would say, for the most part. But it's still, like, an okay one-of that some decks would play, because you could search it out if you, like, needed an oh shit button to get back into the game. It wasn't like you had to draw it. There were ways to access it as well, which also probably helped with the reason that it was hit. All right, next one.
Monster Reborn. This looks like the thing from Sailor Moon. Target
That's
one
so
monster,
funny.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
What is in the little like wand thing?
No, like the brooch.
Yeah, I like the little brooch thing she has. Target 1 monster in either player's graveyard, special summon it. Okay, so I can pull a monster, either one of our graveyards. Even if both of those monsters are normal monsters, I still have to sacrifice something to summon it because it says special summon it.
No.
It says special summon it.
So if it's any monster in a graveyard, as long as it doesn't say anything along the lines of cannot be special summoned, it's fair game for this card. So hypothetically, the Blue Eyes White Dragon, right? You know, the big 3,000 attacker requires 2 tributes typically. If it's in the graveyard or you send it there through your own means, you can use Monster Reborn and bring it directly out to the field and cheat it out essentially.
Okay, but in normal instances, if I had like a special monster in my hand, I would have to sacrifice one of my creatures to special summon it.
It's a tribute summon, but yes, yeah.
Or tribute. Oh, that's what. Okay, I'm getting tribute and special summon mixed up. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I didn't have to like sacrifice something just to pull this whatever this card is from the graveyard out.
Yeah,
okay,
a special summon, you're allowed infinite number of special summons per turn, unless like cards tell you otherwise. But the normal summon, which a tribute summon also counts as a normal summon, you only get 1 per turn.
God, we have so many rules.
We do.
I'm gonna go with banned. Yeah, you fucking give me something in your fucking graveyard, and it's mine, and it's you got my biggest thing is in there, and now it is on the battlefield, and I had to do what? Nothing? Cast a spell that's free because you don't have to pay for anything in Yu-Gi-Oh.
But everything's free in Yu-Gi-Oh. Remember that.
I know, so I get to pull a card out of a graveyard. Isn't that really good? Fuck, is it just good, but is it not banned? That's wait a minute. Ooh, okay.
Now you're putting it together.
Okay, all right. I think that the card is really good, but actually not. I don't think that it's banned, but I think that the card is good.
Final answer.
Yes.
Should have went with your gut. It's been banned.
Fuck. Oh my God.
The reason this is banned is just because, or was banned, it was just too generically good. There was no other, like, better card at resurrecting a monster than this card. And not to mention, it pulls from the opponent's graveyard as well. It could have just said, target one in your graveyard and bring it out. That probably would have been good enough, to be honest. But the fact you could pull your best thing out of the opponent's graveyard as well is crazy. Also, in early Yu-Gi-Oh!, special summoning was still considered special because it wasn't as frequent as it is now. And this was just, like, one of the best cards at doing what this does. Funny enough, Monster Reborn is still restricted to one copy today. That's how good this card is, and still sees modern play. That's how strong of a card it is. Also, just like an anime card too. So like people love Monster Reborn. It's a classic. It's a classic.
Dang it. Okay.
You even said you weren't gonna go against your gut, and you did.
I know, but I went with my gut on the morphing jar, and that weird fucking rock fucked me up. So I don't know anything. I don't know.
Well, let's see if that continues into the next card.
Okay, let's see. Robbin Goblin. Okay, so I'm gonna call him Rob. Each time a monster you control inflicts battle damage to your opponent discards one card at random. Oh wow! Oh, it's a trap. It's not even a creature itself. This is a trap card.
It's also a continuous trap card, so this will stay
anytime
active.
Any monster. Oh, that's fun. But they have to do damage to them for it to happen. But still.
So let me clarify. Let me clarify some battle mechanics here, because I know this differs heavily from Magic. So battle damage is any monster or any damage that is dealt by a monster. So if a monster were to go face, that is battle damage. If a monster in attack position attacks another monster in attack position and attacks over it and wins combat, it does battle damage out of the opponent's life point. So if my 2,000 attack monster destroys your 1,000 attack monster, you take 1,000 battle damage and your monster's destroyed. So everything effectively has trample, if that makes sense, as long as the monster's in attack position. If a monster's in defense position and I attack into it, it might destroy the monster, but because it's in defense, you would take no damage in that instant. So just to help clarify battle mechanics a bit.
Is it this card that's giving everything trample, or that's just how Yu-Gi-Oh! Battle works?
That's just how Yu-Gi-Oh! Battle works, yes. Anytime
what? You
in
guys
attack
have
position...
all the time?
Basically. Again, unless the monster's in defense position, then yes. But we do have what's called piercing, which is our equivalent of trample, where if it attacks something in defense, it'll still do damage anyway.
God. I feel like, oh my God, if I ever try to play Yu-Gi-Oh! In real life, I think I would just start crying on the spot. I don't even know if I could handle.
We still are
this
20 years later,
God.
don't worry.
Okay, so, all right. How much you control inflicts? While I think that that is good and useful... Okay, it's early Yu-Gi-Oh! Though. Like, why would they have that many cards in their hand? Wouldn't they just want to play everything they have?
Remember, you can only normal summon once per turn, so you're kind of limited by that.
That's true, so you do have some stuff in your hand, probably leftover things that you couldn't normal summon.
Or they're holding a board wipe like a Dark Hole or a Monster Reborn to use it at time. Yeah.
I just don't think that this is banned. I don't know why. Like, I think it's annoying and really fucking rude, but I don't think that this is banned. There's no way this is banned.
Final answer?
Final answer.
You would be correct. If it makes you feel better, CGB thought this was one of the most broken cards I've ever shown him.
Really?
Yeah, this card is fine. It's, like, again, by older Yu-Gi-Oh! Standards, if you saw this was kind of like a playground card where, like, you could really get people who are just, like, bad at the game with this and just steamroll them. But it's kind of like a win more card in a lot of ways, where if you're ahead, you're probably already going to win that game most likely anyway, and this card just kind of, like, ensures that happens, I guess. It's not that this card is bad. It's just like you would want something on its own. It does nothing. And if you're behind, this card's really bad. It doesn't really offer much, especially with the other cards I've shown you, right? Like, look at like the power level we're talking about here. Yeah, it's annoying. And it's like, if you get hit by it, it sucks. Also, if your stuff goes to the graveyard, like they hit your best monster. Oh, good. Now I can Monster Reborn it back. Thanks, right? So it has its downsides, but annoying card, but not ban-worthy. CGB thought this was like the most ban-worthy card he's ever seen. It was great. All right, next card.
Magician of Faith. Is it even possible to turn your head like that? Your neck bent? Jesus. Flip. Target one spell in your graveyard. Add that target to your hand. So does that target like that card?
Correct.
Target a spell in my graveyard. So, okay, this thing gets flipped up. I get to pull a spell back from my graveyard to my hand. Its attack is 300, its defense is 400. I think that that's really good. I think that that's good. I mean, even some stuff in Magic where like you put it back on top of your library is still really good. Is it ban worthy though? There's probably some sort of like degenerate combo that you guys did with this card or something where you would like loop or I don't know, do some weird shit with some spells.
Okay.
Bring it, cast it, bring it back. That's what I think, but it was also early you, so what are you really doing? Playing Pot of Greed 1,000 times and decking? I don't know. I think that this card is good. For some reason, I want to say that it was banned. I don't know why. I'm probably wrong. But there's probably some weird shit going on. I'm going to go with banned.
Final answer?
Yeah, I don't know why.
You were rewarded for listening to your gut because you are correct. So, Magician...
Is it because of a combo?
Yes and no. So, Magician of Faith by itself is still very good, right? It's funny you said the Pot of Greed thing because cycling Pot of Greed a second time is totally fine by us. We will happily do that because remember, like, card draw is varies few and far between for us. So if we get to draw 2 more cards with this, fantastic. If I get to dark hole my opponent again, fantastic. If I get to use Reborn a second time, fantastic. Because a lot of these cards that were banned at some point were most likely also restricted as well before they got the ban treatment, right? And so Magician of Fate, fantastic just utility card for getting back some of your powerful spells. And then later on, some more cards were released that made it that there were loops that you could constantly flip the Magician of Faith up and down, similar to the Morphing Jar. And basically, you could just be cycling Pot of Greed every single turn if you want to, if your opponent is not able to break that combo, essentially. And so, Magician of Faith met its fate on the ban list. It's totally fine now. It's way too slow because it's a flip effect. But this card is a very classic card, and a lot of people love it because it's really good value.
I think at this point, I'm like trying to like think of like Yu-Gi-Oh players as a whole and what it is they like doing and like to play. So I think that that's why I was like, that's probably what was happening here with this card. You were doing some weird stuff.
Well, let's see if you have a change of heart after this one.
Oh, that was cute. Okay, change of heart. Target 1 monster your opponent controls, take control of it until the end phase. So you have it for 1 turn. Does it get like haste or wait, is that a thing?
We have no summoning sickness in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Okay, so
everything has haste.
Everything has Shrivel, everything has haste. Does it all have double strike? Does it all have like
some things do. Some things do.
Jesus. Okay. No wonder you guys are winning in 1 turn. Target 1 monster your opponent controls, take control of it until the end phase. It's just a fucking yoink. Annoying, and there's no way this was
But
banned.
it's a free yoink.
It's a free yoink. But I mean, I don't know. There's no way this is banned. I think that this card is like fine, but there's no way it was banned. You give it back to them after, right? You hit them with it, and then if they don't die, they get it back?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, not banned.
Final answer?
Yes.
This card has been banned for so long. It only recently just came off the ban list this year, if you can believe that. Yes, this card has been banned for, I want to say, like 18 years. That's how long this card has been banned.
Why?
So, let's give you some context here. Change of Heart is... we do have other ways to yoink things, but Change of Heart's one of the best for several reasons. One, it doesn't care about the battle position. I've talked about how things can be in face-down defense position. Some of the other yoink cards require the monster to be face up. So hypothetically, if you were to set a Magician of Faith face down, I could Change of Heart your Magician of Faith, flip it up myself, and get a spell card out of my graveyard and deny you from doing that on your next turn, because I flipped it up myself. So that's really powerful. And so if you have the read on a play like that, it's really good. Something you probably overlooked is the fact that if you Change of Heart the opponent's monster, you can tribute over it for a bigger monster or use it for a million other types of effects. So they don't end up getting the monster back during the end phase of the turn. You have to set it up that way. Change of Heart also, just like you take their large thing, if they have no other things protecting them, you just hit them face and win. It just did way too much for how powerful the card was, and it was just too generically good. So it ended up getting banned. It only recently this year just got off the ban list, and it actually does see play, which is really cool, because this is a card, people love the artwork, it's just a very classic card, but it sees play because it's actually that powerful, even by modern Yu-Gi-Oh standards. So yeah, very, very strong card.
Oh my god, okay. Yoink and sack and... Okay, all right. Okay, that makes sense.
You can also use all the powerful effects of the card you yoink too, right? So hypothetically, if there's just a card that says, like, pop a card on the field once a turn, cool. Change of Heart, take it, pop one of their cards, right? It's like, there's just a lot of really strong use cases for it at the end of the day. All right.
You gain all the effects, okay. Call of the Haunted. Target 1 monster in your graveyard, special summon that target in face-up attack position When this card leaves the field, destroy that target. When that target is destroyed, destroy this card. Oh my fucking god, I need to read that again. Target a monster in your graveyard. It comes out and face up attack position. When it is gone, destroy. When this card leaves the battlefield, destroy. Oh, when the Call of the Haunted leaves the battlefield.
They're tied together.
Right, okay. And then when that target is destroyed, destroy this card. Okay, so they have a soul bond.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Special summon it, face up attack position, and then if they killed the trap card, how easy is it? Is it hard to kill a trap card?
I wouldn't say it's hard, but I wouldn't say it's easy either, if that makes sense. Like, there are cards that do it, but not every card has the ability to do that. But there were cards that were played that would destroy, like, there basically you would kind of have your removal in different tiers. It would be like removal that destroys monsters, like Dark Hole, and then there might be removal that destroys spells and traps, right? So it kind of, you're not going to have really a lot of catch-alls that destroy one of anything, but there were cards that could destroy spells and traps, yes.
Listen, I learned my lesson with the Sailor Moon card. I'm gonna go with Band, because I pull my guy out. I mean, I guess the other one, Sailor Moon, got take from their graveyard too, but I still get to pull all my stuff's in my graveyard. That's fine, because that's what I like to do anyways in Yu-Gi-Oh! And it just, I mean, it gets destroyed, I guess, if the trap card gets destroyed, but
it's a much more restricted Monster Reborn.
Yeah, it's much more restricted, but it still seems... Oh, God, was it banned, though? If Monster Reborn is, like, Giga banned, is this just, like... But, like, this is still banned. I'm gonna go with banned. Just not as good as Monster Reborn.
But still good enough to get banned. That's your thinking? Oh, you hesitated.
Yes.
Final answer?
Yeah.
You're correct!
Yay!
You are
Okay.
correct. So, by this point, I want to say Monster Reborn was banned. And so... Call of the Haunted was restricted for a very long period of time as well. Eventually did make its way onto the ban list. During this time in Yu-Gi-Oh, there was, I want to say there was just not a lot of like hard removal for monsters. Like I'm pretty sure a lot of the best board wipes were banned during this time. And even like spot removal, like 1-for-1 removal was also limited or restricted in several ways as well. That even having an effect like Call of the Haunted to get like an additional summon, there were some weird like things you could do to like kind of loop this card, but for the most part, yeah, it was just like there's too much value you could get off of an effect like this by pulling something from the graveyard that was considered like too swingy. And so like as a result, it got banned for a short period of time. This card's at 3 now just because being a trap card, it's too slow. Where Monster Reborn being a spell card, you can play it immediately is way better. So that's something as cards age, trap cards become worse and worse because the game speeds up more and more. But Call of the Haunted was, it was played a lot. It was actually played quite a bit. Even while Monster Reborn was banned, some decks would still find reasons to play this. Even like in like middle tier Yu-Gi-Oh, like 20 teens, people would play Call of the Haunted. It was actually pretty decent still.
That's kind of what happens in Magic too. Like cards will get banned, but like as the years go on, the card just becomes like not as big of a threat because so many more worse things have been created and they get unbanned. I think that's what happened with Splinter Twin. Just got recently unbanned. That's my guess is why it got unbanned, is because it was so insane. But like nowadays, it's just like, you know, it can be played.
Don't know what that is, but moving on.
Yep.
I'm sure I'll find out eventually in another video I do with someone. All right, next card.
Jinzo. Oh, ew. This reminds me of something. I can't think of what it is. Oh, you know what this, maybe I'm misremembering, but there's like some, I only know the meme of like the little kid like hiding under the desk and there's like a robot like trying to get them.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure people have put Jinzo
like
in place of the robot in that meme at times. Yes.
See? Yeah, okay. I'm on the money with that. So Jinzo is 6 stars. Trap cards and their effects on the field cannot be activated. Negate all trap cards on the field. Okay, trap cards and their effects on the field cannot be activated. Negate all trap cards on the field. Is that not the exact same sentence? Or is that two different things happening?
It's a more of a semantic thing. Let's just say that while he's out, trap cards are all offline. Let's just keep it simple.
Yeah, I see. These Yu-Gi-Oh cards sometimes repeat themselves unnecessarily, I feel like. I don't know.
So there's a difference between activating a trap card, because like activating a trap card is considering flipping it up, right? So that's considered activating. And then it says negate all trap card effects on the field. So hypothetically, if that Robbin goblin were out on the field, Jinzo would negate that as well. So it's clarifying that regardless if a trap card is immediately being activated or it's already active on the field, no matter what, it's offline. So that's kind of like the difference there.
I would think that this would be banned because he's also really big. He's like 2,400, 2,400 attack. And I would think that this would be banned because it turns off like the trap card. That's really like, it shuts down everybody's stuff that they're trying to do, I guess. They're like weird little tricks.
He is 6 stars though, so keep in mind you do have to tribute a monster to play this out onto the field. I don't know if that affects your evaluation at all, but I want to give you the full context.
Okay, maybe no, you know what? No. I'm sticking with it.
You're sticking with it?
Weird monster robot man is banned.
Final answer.
Mm-hmm.
You are on a roll because you are correct. Jinzo is an incredibly strong card. Jinzo is... Oh, actually, no, wait. You said banned. I'm sorry, no. Jinzo was never banned. I'm sorry. I completely just goofed there. I thought it was banned. It was restricted to 1. It was restricted to 1 copy.
This has been fun. I have never been so debated in my life. I feel like my heart was just ripped out.
I baited myself. Everyone in the comments, as soon as I say that, they're going to be like, Jinzo was never banned. No, I forgot. Sorry. It was restricted to 1. I'm not going to make the mistake again. This card is very strong. This card is incredibly strong. Very, very strong. One of the interactions was, I was curious if you'd pick up on it, is that with that Call of the Haunted card, if you Call the Haunted, resurrect a Jinzo, Jinzo's negating that Call of the Haunted. So if they were to destroy Call of the Haunted, you know how they're like soul bonded together? The Jinzo actually wouldn't get destroyed, which is a cool interaction with this card. Yeah, it's something that people did too. And I don't know if it's one of the reasons this card got restricted in any capacity, but it could have been. Turning off a third of the cards in the card pool turns out is pretty OP in a lot of instances, especially when trap cards are typically like your like reactive removal and things that you're gonna do on the opponent's turn, like your instant speed stuff. Just a fantastically solid card. So much so that, you know, I forgot that it wasn't banned, but they restricted it to 1 copy, and very quickly it was really strong in old Yu-Gi-Oh, but then as Yu-Gi-Oh aged, Jinzo just kind of fell out of favor for most decks because it's like you didn't really have to deal with trap cards, and he was just kind of slow. But funny enough, Jinzo does still see modern play from time to time. If there's like a trap deck that's really, really good, which doesn't happen often, some people will actually side deck Jinzo as a counter to it. It's very funny when that happens because we are in Eternal format, so you have the ability to do that, which is kind of cool. But sorry I jebaited you. That was my mistake.
I feel like my heart was ripped out, and I'm giving myself half a point for your treachery of what
you can do that. That doesn't count for anything because it's my game. But in any case, next card.
The comments will be on my side, right?
This is me to the comment section saying, hold your comments for what I just said about Jinzo.
The forceful sentry. Look at your opponent's hand, select a card from among them, and return it to their deck. The deck is then shuffled. No, this isn't banned. That's like, I mean, this is not banned. I mean, it puts like their I mean, ugh, God, there's no way. I think that this is annoying, and I think that it's rude.
Okay.
And you can probably get like a really good creature and put it back. It's not like you like, I guess alternatively, it's worse to be shuffled back in you would almost rather have it in your graveyard, like have you be discarded with it, I guess, if I would assume. But like it's not like exiled or anything. Like they have a chance to draw it again. Like it maybe slows it down. I don't think that this was banned.
Okay.
I think that this is rude and annoying.
Magic doesn't have anything like this?
No, they do.
Okay.
But I don't think that, I mean, it's not banned. But we have a lot of like fuck with the hand stuff. But not banned.
Do you think it's a good card then?
For the love of God, everybody remember, I play limited. My knowledge of standard and everything that was banned is very, very limited. At this point, Cimo could quiz me on things that were banned in Magic, and I would probably get it wrong. So,
that'd be a good video.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with not banned, but really annoying.
Do you think this card is good? Just out of curiosity.
I think that to be honest with you, I absolutely fucking hate cards like this. I think that I don't ever play them. I think that they're a lot of the times, at least for me, it feels like a dead card because like they've already played everything and like I'm targeting nothing. And so I just have this card sitting in my hand and then it's gonna get Robbin goblined anyways. So, but I'm not even sad about it because I couldn't do anything with it. So I know that this stuff is good in standard and like they play it like, you know, Thoughtseize or whatever. But I don't, and I don't care for them that much. But then again, I mean, people do play them limited too, but I just don't. I don't think it's very good. I wouldn't put it in my deck. There's no way this is banned. There's no way this is banned.
Final
Please
answer.
tell me no. Yes, final answer.
Would you believe if I told you this card's still banned today?
Are you fucking kidding me? What?
Do you think I'm baiting you again?
Wait, are you? Wait, that's not fair. You did it. Wait, are you baiting me before
I'm
I
not.
freak
This
out?
card's still banned today. I'm dead
Okay.
ass.
All right. So, okay. I'm glad you're getting a kick out of this.
I am.
My
I'm sure
emotions
the audience,
are being played with and you're laughing.
I'm sure the audience is as well, considering your reaction to this card. All right, I think you need context here because I think this
Okay.
might be the most shocking out of everything I've showed you that this is banned for us.
Yes, it is.
If there is a cardinal rule to follow with Yu-Gi-Oh, you don't fuck with the opponent's hand. That is just something that the game over time has never allowed. There are several other cards that were released the same time as the Forceful Sentry. We call them the Unholy Trinity, just because they are all cards that do something similar to this to fuck with the opponent's hand. The other one, Confiscation, is actually basically Thoughtseize. You pay 1,000 life points, look at their hand, and you discard it to the graveyard. The third one is called Delinquent Duo. You pay 1,000 life points, you randomly discard a card out of your opponent's hand, and then they get to pick one of choice to discard. So they discard 2 for your 1. Are basically the reason why just hand destruction in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just like not okay. Remember, like Magician of Faith can get these cards back, so you could do it again potentially. There's a lot going on with these cards. They're very unfun to play against, especially because they could be looped. And then as Yu-Gi-Oh! Has aged specifically, even much worse versions of these cards have been banned because looking at your opponent's hand in Yu-Gi-Oh!, you can essentially telegraph how the game is going to play out over the next couple turns. And because Yu-Gi-Oh! Is so fast-paced compared to a game like Magic, essentially, there's all the hidden information is gone, and you can play around everything, and the chances of you winning just went down to like 2% at the end of the day. It is just something that anytime Yu-Gi-Oh! Prints cards that do anything to the hand, they just get banned not long after that because they are just so unfun to play against and also just like such a detriment to the way Yu-Gi-Oh! Is designed that cards like this just cannot exist in our game. It's wild. Even like I said, if I showed you a much worse version of this, that would be banned too. And it's unbelievable that that's the case. But yeah, this card is banned and it's probably never going to get unbanned, to be honest with you.
It is the most shocking of the ones that you showed me. The way that you talk about it and the way that you describe it, the way that you guys talk about fucking with each other's hands sounds like land destruction and Magic a little bit.
It is.
Like, it's just something that you just, like, it's so fucking awful to play against and have to, like, deal with that it just ruins everything.
I think that's a good comparison because remember, Yu-Gi-Oh! We don't have, like, land as a resource. The resources are the cards themselves, right? And so because of that, not only do you get to then know everything they have, but you're taking their best land right away from them. Granted, I mean, it's any card too. It's not even like it's just restricted to monsters. Like, so you can take like their board wipe and now, oh, I'm just going to go full aggro because you have nothing to stop me, right? There's just, the hand knowledge is just backbreaking by Yu-Gi-Oh! Standards. And if this got unbanned, it would see play. That is like, I just, without a doubt, I know this card would see play. It's just way too good.
Yeah, of all the ones, this is not the one I would have pegged for to be as cruel as it is.
And this is the worst of the 3 when it comes to the Unholy Trinity, which is hilarious. But in any case, all right, only a few more. Only a few more. I'd say you've been doing pretty good for the most part. Let's see if you can end strong.
Thank you. I'm gonna try. Gravity Bind. Level 4 or higher monsters cannot attack. That's 4 stars.
4 Dragon Balls in your case, yes.
4 Dragon Balls. What is it actually called?
Level.
Level?
Yes.
It's dumb. Redo it to Dragon Balls or something. Level 4 higher monsters cannot attack. Was there okay, so this is early Yu-Gi-Oh! Was there a lot of early monster or like cheapy
I'll help give you some context. Recall,
okay.
level 4 is the highest level before you have to start tribute summoning. These are monsters that would have, 1,800 attack points. Like, these are like your high power aggressive type monsters. Level 3 and lower, you've seen a few of those, like Magician of Faith, Morphing Jar. These are more like your utility cards. They may not have good stats, but they make up for it by having like a really good effect. Once you start getting to level 5 and higher, you need to tribute summon these cards, right? By sacrificing a card you already control. And so Gravity Bind would stop these as well.
Okay, so it not only stops the highest normal summoning monster, but also like your big boys that you want to hit with.
Correct.
And stuff. I would think that this would it be banned? It would it's your stuff too.
It is your stuff too.
But if this is in your deck, you're not playing a lot of 4-star monsters.
Possibly.
Or it's you're sideboarding it or something, or I don't know. I am gonna go with
what's the gut telling you?
Banned.
This is what the gut says?
Your silence is the worst thing ever.
That's just what the gut says?
My gut is saying I have angina, so I don't know at this point. I fucking, my chest hurts. I'm gonna go with banned, yeah.
Well, unfortunately, this time your gut has led you astray because this card was never banned. In defense, this card was restricted to 1 for a short period of time. You actually were pretty close in your evaluation. If you're playing this card, you're probably not going to care about the downside for you because you're going to build around it. Most decks during old Yu-Gi-Oh! Were comprised of like level 4 monsters. Yeah, you'd still play your utility monsters, of course, but your main offensive like attackers and stuff would be your larger guys that you'd either tribute summon or they were just level 4. That was kind of just like how Yu-Gi-Oh! Was. So Gravity Bind would actually hose a lot of these, you know, typical like good stuff decks. And so decks that would play more of like a control game that would either play like Burn or Stall or Mill or anything like that loved Gravity Bind because they would just play a bunch of low-level monsters that didn't care if they attacked. They were more just for value, think Magician of Faith and such. And they were just trying to achieve their alternate win condition, right? And so this card was very annoying to play against if you didn't really have a way to remove it. Obviously, there were ways, but if your opponent did the thing they were trying to do first, this card sucked. This card was very annoying. So similar to Robbin Goblin, annoying card, but like not ban-worthy. But it was annoying enough to be restricted because the control decks were quite annoying back in the day because of this.
It's just a barrier. It's just something that you would put in like your little deck to just buy yourself some time to do what it is you're trying to do.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
It was a cool,
okay,
like,
that makes sense. That makes sense.
It's a card to like that also just helped like diversify like decks as well. So not everyone's just playing like a generic good stuff deck. This way, like it helped those slower decks give them an edge to actually like compete with them too. Because that was sort of a problem in older Yu-Gi-Oh! Only 3 left. 3 left. Speaking of burn cards, this is an interesting one.
Chain Energy. Oh, geez. I'm looking at that art. Sorry. What the hell? Each player must pay 500 life points per card to normal summon. Normal summon, special summon, set or activate cards from their respective hand.
That's CGB when he can't play.
That's how I feel when he counterspells me. Each player must pay 500 life points. So to do anything, you have to pay half of a life. Each player.
From your hand. Yes.
From your hand. Okay. Weird that you pointed that out, but I guess
it says that on the card. I don't think that's weird.
Okay. Okay, that's fair. Okay.
Okay. As an example, if something were to activate in the graveyard, let's say, then you don't pay for chain energy. Yes. I will say, though, older Yu-Gi-Oh! It was not likely that cards activated in the graveyard. There's very few things that did that, I will say. Okay,
so this is old Yu-Gi-Oh! I gotta pay half a life to really do a lot of anything. It affects both of us from their respective hand. It is, I mean, is this another one of the fucking, is this another Gravity Bind where like I'm not doing a whole lot? So I'm trying to slow my opponent down from doing a whole bunch of things.
I don't know. You tell us.
I don't know. I had Blue Eyes White Dragon and like 4 pieces of Exodia growing up. That was my Yu-Gi-Oh card collection that I had. So I don't really know. I'm gonna go with like this is really annoying, but it's not banned.
You learning from Gravity Bind, you think?
I don't know if I'm learning anything, to be honest with you. I'm learning that like my gut is not as good as I thought that it was. What the fuck is the point of this? Why would you put this in your deck too? Or why would you put this in your deck? Why is anybody doing this? Is this something that you would play when they're really low life and so to stop them from doing anything else? Is this like a painful quandary or something?
Okay.
Even then painful, I don't know. I don't think that this is banned. I don't think this is banned. But I think that's maybe when you would play a card like this is when you're so far ahead you don't want them to get any more ahead. You would do this.
Okay.
Not banned.
So maybe some of the context you're missing for this card is the fact that there are plenty of burn cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! That stay active on the field and over time generate like a resource or do a thing so that eventually after several turns, they'll do a big boom and like hit the opponent for like a massive amount of damage. And that chain energy doesn't care about that, right? Because you may have paid the 500 to do that once, but then it stays on the field for a few turns and then does a huge amount of burn damage. And there's several cards like this at the end of the day. So if you're playing burn and you play a card like this, all of a sudden the clock gets sped up exponentially, and the amount of plays that they're actually allowed to do is quite limited, especially if your first turn you play a bunch of stuff, then play chain energy, all your stuff's on the field, so you don't have to pay all the life points to play your stuff. But this card sucks. Yeah, you're right. It's not banned.
Okay. Whew. Okay, then I was like, I did this one, I didn't understand. So, okay, yay, all right, good. I'm taking that, I'm taking my win. I'm taking my win with that one.
You didn't take the bait.
I did not take the bait. Okay, thank God.
All right, what about this one?
Time seal. Skip the draw phase of your opponent's next turn. What? Skip the draw phase of your opponent's next turn. What the fuck does that mean? My opponent's turn? Skip the draw phase?
Correct. So your opponent doesn't get to draw next turn.
Oh. I misunderstood. What I thought, like, I didn't interact with, like, I was like, why would that happen? Okay, so banned. Banned.
That's it?
Banned. Why? Yes, banned. Yeah, you skip their draw phase?
It's just one draw phase.
No, what? It is just one, isn't it? But still, that's the cardinal sin, is to not let people draw cards, and apparently to fuck with people's hands is also a no-no. But I think that this would be banned. I do think that this would be banned.
I mean, it's just a 1-for-1, though. You're trading this card for them missing their draw. It's like...
That's so good, though. That's so
okay.
good. You don't
All
want
right.
them to draw, right?
I'm just giving context.
I know. I'm talking to myself. Sorry. So that's still so good, because that's what it would be so brutal to skip. I mean, I still could do everything, but I guess skip the draw. I would think that this would be banned in early Yu-Gi-Oh. In early Yu-Gi-Oh, like, that would be probably so brutal for you to not get to draw your card. I think is it just brutal or is it banned? No, gut. But then again, this has fucked me many times. I am gonna go with ban. Final
answer.
Yeah.
This card's legal. I don't know what you're talking about. This card's fine. After being banned for like 15 years, you're fine. You're fine. You're right.
Oh, it was? Right. It was banned for?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Stop doing that to me!
They actually
God.
They actually like recently unbanned this card, which is funny. This is
God.
one of the cards that's been on the ban list for a long time that people are like, why is this still unbanned? So for context for this, Time Seal is a card that, like, on the surface is like fine. Like, yeah, it's annoying to skip a draw phase, but you're also wasting a card to skip a draw phase. So it is like 1-for-1 in that sense, and it's like, okay, sure, like, whatever. Where this card gets out of hand, similar to Magician of Faith, there is a counterpart known as Mask of Darkness. Mask of Darkness allows you to add a trap card from your graveyard to your hand. So, you can effectively do a combo where if you keep flipping Masks of Darkness face up and face down, you can infinitely lock your opponent out of drawing with this combo, assuming you can keep doing it. And then they just never get to play the game because they're just draw locked the entire time. So there were other like combos and ways to abuse this, and so they banned Time Seal as a result. And again, this was one of the cards that as Yu-Gi-Oh! Aged and got way out of hand, I told you before, trap cards kind of got a lot worse as Yu-Gi-Oh! Aged because they're so slow. People would make constant videos saying, this card can come off the ban list, no one would ever play it. Well, fun fact, it's off the ban list now, and no one plays it. Shocker. Who would have thought? They could have done that like 10 years ago. I think they were just kind of like worried there might be some degenerate stuff with this because it's not a very fun card to play against necessarily. But by old Yu-Gi-Oh! Standards, this card could have been very annoying. Very annoying. And so it got banned as a result. So you were correct. I did get you with that one.
No, you didn't. You didn't get me. I got it right.
You did get it right. You did get it right. All right, last one. You actually mentioned it earlier on, so I thought it'd be funny to end on a very interesting one. So,
Blue Eyes White Dragon, Pot of Greed, Exodia. Who's that? Exodia. The forbidden one. When you have right leg, I forgot. It's like, yeah, you got to build him. When you have right leg, right arm, left arm. In addition to this card in your hand, you win. Oh, you have to have them. Wait, you have right leg, right arm, and left arm. In addition to this card in you hand. In you hand?
Don't you love spelling errors in old Yu-Gi-Oh? It's great.
That's hysterical. Okay, in you hand, you win duel.
I was curious if you were going to pick up on that.
The one time I read the card, it doesn't actually kind of explains grammatical error. Okay, addition to the card in your hand, you win the duel. I don't remember. I remember this being real. Like, this was like, listen, oh God, how old was I? I was like in the 5th grade or something when I had these cards. I don't remember.
Okay.
But that was like the big, was Blue Eyes White Dragon ever banned? Do I get to know that?
No, it was never banned.
Okay, but it was like the big, that was like the big thing.
It was the biggest monster like for its time. Yes.
Blue Eyes White Dragon and then Exodia was like the big thing. Like that was the big thing in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! That's the only thing I remember from it.
That's why I thought it'd be fun to pick this as our last card.
That is very fun. And that is very silly. And I remember like having pieces of him, which I thought was weird.
Do you want a piece for context? Will that help with your evaluation?
A piece of him?
Yeah, you want a piece?
Let me see a foot.
You a foot? You want the left leg or the right leg? What's your preference?
Give me that right foot.
You want the right leg? Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Here you go. I'll show you this because all the pieces have the same stats. And so they're just Just for context, just so you can have the full information here.
Yep, that's exactly. Yeah, I had like I remember like this art. Okay.
So these are just vanillas, we call them.
Yeah,
they
they're
don't have
little
effects.
tiny things. So you need all the pieces of him to win the game. I'm gonna go with probably like, so it says in your hand. Like do I show it to you and I win the game, or like do they all on the battlefield at the same time, or?
No. They just have to be in your hand. So as soon as if you have 4 pieces in your hand and you add the 5th piece to your hand, you literally just show your hand to your opponent and you win the game immediately on the spot.
All right, not banned. There's no way, right? Oh my God, wait.
I don't
know.
You tell us.
But like there's so many discard things. There's so many like mess with the hand things. Like, and then if it gets in the ground, I guess you could pull it back out.
Those got banned.
But they did get banned. But
eventually,
it just seems really hard to do. I like, at least for me, because I play limited stuff, there's like fun different, I call them like alternate win cons to win the game. It's like Triskaidekaphile or something. And it's just like a fun challenge. Like, it's really hard to do. But that's, again, in limited, and then this is Magic and this is Yu-Gi-Oh! It's different things, I know that. But, like, this seems... can you only have 1 copy in your deck of each of this or something, or...?
That I'm not going to tell you.
That's not fair.
Let me ask... Okay, wait, no. Let me actually rephrase that question for you. Would you want more than 1 copy of each card in your deck?
No, I would not. I would be dead by the time... No, you're right. I would be dead by the time that I got all my pieces and my feet and my hands together.
Okay, interesting.
I'm gonna go with, like, hilarious and cool and, like, for some reason is a childhood memory of mine, but not banned.
Final answer. And remember, this is your final answer.
I know. Oh, I really don't want to be wrong. I'm gonna go with, yes, final answer, not banned, but cool if you could pull it off.
All right, Foxy, let's take a trip back to Japan, Yu-Gi-Oh! Before it hit the States. Exodia, the Forbidden One, was by far and away arguably, even to this day, the most broken deck in all of Yu-Gi-Oh's history. And that is even 25 years later. It was incredibly common. You could have all 5 pieces assembled on the very first turn because you had 3 Pot of Greed. You had 3 Graceful Charity. You had all these cards that searched the Exodia pieces directly from the deck, so you didn't just have to draw them. Everything was there to make Exodia the most broken deck imaginable. So much so that when they released Exodia's head into the game, they said it was only going to be available at this one specific tournament at the Tokyo Dome, and they had 1 booth, and people rioted at the Dome, caused injuries, hospitalizations, because they closed the booth early because they did not nearly have the capacity to deal with how much demand there was for this final piece of Exodia. And as such, he is not banned. You are correct.
Wait, what? Wait. What happened? You and I, we've had such a good rapport back and forth, and it's turned into you just fucking with me? Because you accidentally did it one time, and it was so funny, you decided to keep going with it?
So let me give you the context. All the Exodia pieces were limited to 1 copy, which is why I didn't want to give that away. It sort of is analogous to the anime for some reasons that all the pieces are limited to 1. But it's like you said, which is why I wanted to rephrase the question for you. You don't want more than 1 of each piece in your deck anyway. It's kind of bad. In the super tier 0, no deck is better Exodia meta that Japan had, there was like a justification to play multiple copies of each piece, but that's neither here nor there. Exodia, it's just like you said. It's like, if you can pull it off, you're going to be the king of the playground, right? Everyone's going to think you're the coolest person ever because you actually assembled Exodia. There were people that back in the day would play Exodia decks, and people to this day still try to play Exodia decks. The Exodia has gotten support, which is no surprise because it's Exodia. And I think it's one of those things where they never actually like want to ban it, just because like if you ban like one of the most iconic faces of your game, that kind of sucks. But it's also like not ban worthy, aside from that like one instance in Japan where it was like the best deck by far. But by limiting all the pieces to a singular copy, and they just basically murdered all of like the draw power and all the stuff surrounding Exodia so that it wasn't nearly as consistent. It was still a deck that was played. Funny enough, all the mill decks basically made Exodia unplayable because you just milled the piece and then they just lose automatically. So that was kind of funny. It's fine. Exodia's actually gone to Worlds, our World Championship every now and then, because someone finds like some like anti-meta strat that they think Exodia is the pick for the World Championship. They didn't win with it, but it's still funny to see nonetheless. But it's an icon of Yu-Gi-Oh! Of course, they're not going to ban it. I wanted to see if you thought for any reason that they might. So sorry to mess with your emotions, but I thought that'd be a good story to tell you. That's all true, by the way. That actually all did happen.
See, that I believe you in that. I do like the way you did that. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh, okay, I am just a dumbass. I'm like, there's no way. I was like, there's a reason that I remember it from childhood for some reason. Of course it was banned. I don't know. But that's very funny. Like, yeah, why would they ban like their most popular thing? Somebody who doesn't even give a shit about Yu-Gi-Oh! Knows Exodia. And, you know, like, like, why would you do that? I guess that makes sense, right? That's funny. Okay.
Yeah, until I explored, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! In Japan, because there isn't, like, a lot on the internet about it, especially that's in English. A lot of it's, like, in Japanese. It was cool to see that, like, Exodia was, like, the, like, best deck by a country mile for, like, a very long... It went through, like, Dragon Ball Z phases, where it was, like, really good, and then it went, like, Super Saiyan good, and then it was, like, the best deck ever, and then they, like, nerfed it, and it was still good. It's really cool to, like, see the chronicle and the evolution of how Exodia affected Yu-Gi-Oh! And so, yep, as such, like, it's just like a fun gimmick. It's like the classic. So I thought it'd be a fun one to end on for you.
That is a fun
you did
one.
Good.
And yay! Yeah, do I get a final overall score, or like is it just like how much emotionally I have been damaged, or what's
pretty much
the thing?
Yeah, pretty much the latter. Yeah.
Okay, great.
We have all the points, and we don't keep score. So I think overall, though, if I had to guess, I think you got more right than wrong, which is better than Raren or CGB most of the time. So I guess you can take that for what it's worth.
Suck it, you two.
So do you feel like you learned more about Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah, I definitely, yes. I eventually some of these things will stick. If we keep doing these for more, like the normal summon, special summon, like graveyard things will stick more and more. Like I remembered like little bits from the last time we did this of like the card, and I'll never forget the hand issues, and don't mess with someone's hand or they're gonna like flip my table over or something. I
think that was the thing that probably shocked you the most in this whole video.
That was, of all the ones that you showed me, that was the wildest one. I was like, there's just no, like, because we have so many of these in Magic, and they're just, I mean, they're annoying, and like they get play in standard and stuff, but like there's no way they're banned. Like there's no chance.
As a bonus for the people who've stuck around, let me show you like one of the worst versions of this effect, and I will tell you that this is banned.
Okay, a pointer of... Ew! What fucking thumb-looking ass is this? A pointer of the Red Lotus? Pay 2,000, I assume, life points and reveal your entire hand. Look at your opponent's hand and banish one card from their hand until your opponent's next end phase. I show you mine, you show me yours type of thing.
You pay a quarter of your life, you show them your hand, you get to look at their hand, and then banish the best card in their hand, and they get it back during the end of their turn.
Yeah, so I'm losing life. I'm giving you hand knowledge of what's in my hand. I do get to look at your hand, and I get to banish one of the things until their next end step. Sure, whatever. I feel like that's just not a good deal. Like,
well, it's banned, so Yu-Gi-Oh! Players think differently.
Oh my god. Okay. It's... I don't know anything.
Isn't that shocking? Isn't that shocking?
Is this a good deal? Am I bad on deals? Is this actually a good deal?
So, for context, CGB likes to call it Yu-Gi-Oh! 2, just because how different, like, modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Is compared to, like, this older stuff I'm showing you. Basically, if you do your thing on your first turn and set a pointer of the Red Lotus, you flip it up, you look at their hand, and take the one card that's going to fuck you up the most, and now you just probably win the game because of that, because the rest of their hand, like, isn't enough to, like, beat what you have. And so, that's justified enough for this card to get banned. And it's been banned for, like, years now.
Okay, well, this one doesn't go on my final score. This was a bonus.
It doesn't. No.
Yeah,
I just wanted to show you this as a bonus for fun, to show you how the hand-ripping card we have that's still banned. This card was bulk. This card was literal bulk until people found that this was like a thing that they could do.
No matter what, if the card anywhere says on it, even glance in my opponent's direction.
Most likely, yes. Unless it is just like impossible to like play the card. Yes.
Okay, what's an impossible to play the card example?
Like, you have to, like, go through some ridiculous set of hoops to, like, summon some big thing out that's, like, super unlikely to happen sort of scenario, right?
Okay.
Like, there are those types of things. But, yeah, if it's anywhere regarding the hand, most likely it's probably been like banned or restricted in some capacity. That's, again, the cards are our resources. The cards are our resources.
Wild. Okay. All right. Okay. Wow. Yeah. It's just land destruction and magic.
Yeah,
that's
pretty
our
much.
stuff.
I think
Yeah.
you did good overall. I think you did good overall.
Thank
and I can't wait to
you.
hear what the comments say.
No, I was gonna say hopefully the comments agree that I did okay. And remember my gut, guys. Remember how I was right on some of these and I talked myself out of it. So I don't know. I'm sorry about the rock or whatever its name is. Morphing rock.
Morphing rock. Morphing jar.
Morphing jar. Is it not a rock? Did I make that up?
No, it's a rock. You're right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about your weird pebble. But it's just weird with the hand draw thing. But other than that, I feel like I learned a lot.
So guys, that's going to wrap it up for another video. I really hope you all enjoyed. Let's go ahead and shout the patrons for all of their continued support. So shoutouts to Shoutout1317, Tim00x3, MBT Play Medolce, Moto, Cameron L. Smith, The Synchro Guy, Pony Stark, Dan the Man Hoban, Little Fadeleaf, Draconic, Dylan Rare Hunter, Brian Dancer of Class 7, JW11860, Flannel Daddy, literally all of the guinea pigs, Cheeks McLapperty, Stolfin Amethyst, MBT Cancel Bio Community soon, Cancel Bio Committee soon, Cancel Bio Players soon, Wonder Waffle, Daniel Howell, Electrician of the Ice Barrier, Arco, and Astro Random. Thank you all so much again for watching, and we will see you next time.